Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Patrick, and the purpose of my channel, Coachable Moments, is to help you understand you as an individual, as a group, whether it's your family, your group of friends, how you operate, how you connect together, how relationships work. My goal is to dig deep into that and help you understand some of the pitfalls, maybe to some of your relationships, and give you some useful tools to help you understand how to navigate uh, relationships, whether it's personal or family or whatever. So, yesterday we talked about security and how everybody wants security. It's important to feel safe with the people or the person that you deal with. And if you don't have security, you really don't have anything. Today, I want to take it a little bit further and look at each individual and look at what computer terms would call your operating system. And basically, your operating system is nothing more than the platform from where your beliefs come from. You know, it's your guiding principles, it's your rules, your laws on how you live your life. And when I talk about operating systems, you know, two of the, I guess, the two most important operating systems, most significant operating systems that you can relate to would be Apple and Android. Um, Everybody has a phone glued to their hands. And so that kind of helps you understand what I'm talking about when I talk about your operating system. It's the core of how you get your information, how you process your information, how you communicate. Um, and with those two operating systems, you have some differences there. Apple is kind of known as the more sleek, user-friendly, and secure interface, and Android is a little bit more open source, a little bit more flexible, and some can say less secure. I won't judge you for thinking that your Android phone is more secure than this iPhone, but it's whatever. So when I think about from a human level, my operating system, and what I want you to really think about is your operating system. How are you operating in this human experience called life? And what I want to, I guess, introduce and talk about is the importance of looking at your operating system. I shared with a friend not too long ago how you can live in your body for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and not really know much about yourself. You'll know more about your spouse or your friends than you really know about yourself. And that's why you hear people say when you ask them, what kind of things do you like? After they've gone so far in life, being more interested in everybody else and their kids and their spouse and things like that, without taking the time to really know themselves. They'll say things like, you know what? I really don't know what I like, and then they hit that sometimes when they get to that point to where they have an empty nest and all the kids move out and they're faced with the reality of, man, it's just me in this house, or it may just be you and your spouse, and you're so used to being a parent and not really focused in on your own operating system that you forgot how to be a couple, or you've forgotten how to be an individual because you spent more time learning about other people than you did yourself. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you and help you identify what your operating system is, the whole foundation of you as an individual. And I'm of the belief that there can only be two operating systems uh, in this human experience. And the first is faith-based, and the other, I would have to say, would be fear-based. And from each of these two operating systems, I mean, it comes a lot of the traits or the characteristics, just like if you were Apple and Android, Um, from a faith-based perspective, you have that optimism, that belief, that confidence that that life is good and life is supposed to be good for you, and you're supposed to be blessed and you're supposed to win, regardless of what you get yourself involved in. And from a fear-based perspective, it's the opposite. You may be skeptical of everybody and everything, and you think that the world is against you and nothing is going to work because the man doesn't want things to work for you. And I guess my first question to you is to identify, after analyzing your own behavior, which one of those do you fall in and which one do you want to be? Because you can always come over to this Apple side, all of my Android users. And I don't mean to say that if you have an Android phone that you don't have faith or you're not an optimistic person. I was just using that as an example to draw two parallels. But, the operating system is something that has caused families to not be able to get along, because those two belief systems are always in play. They're always at play. Nothing can happen without you having a platform or a belief system or a set of rules that guide you in how you conduct yourself as a person. So that's why you see, like at family get-togethers, you have this part of the family clicked up, and they may be, the educated part of the family, and they may have the nicer things, the bigger houses, the nicer cars, better clothes, and some money about themselves. And then you may have another part of the family that may be the complete opposite. They may be struggling every time you see them, or they every time you talk to them, they're going through something, and they may not have a nice car. They may need a jump at the family reunion just to get the car started so they can get back to the house. Who knows? But a lot of the times what I see is that one side of the family doesn't like the other side of the family, because they'll say they think they're better than everybody else because they live in a subdivision or a nice part of town. And I think what it all boils down to is that we haven't taken the time to look at ourselves on an individual and a holistic basis to identify whether we're operating in fear or faith. Because from a faith perspective, I feel like anything that I desire out of life, I can get. Whether it's a nice car or a big house, if that's what I desire, I can have that. And on the opposite end of the scale, if I'm always unsure of my finances and I expect bad things to happen to me, I'm gonna operate in a way that reflects that fear. And I'm not going to take chances in life. I'm not going to invest in myself. I'm not going to apply myself, because I'm always skeptical that things are not going to work out for me. That's a fear-based platform that you live on, and you have to, identify that within yourself, and then make those corrections over time to get more in line with your faith. I look at, I've been at family get-togethers where, maybe the people that are doing well for themselves don't want to talk to the people that are not doing well, or that they feel is not doing well for themselves, because they may be a little bit more haughty, like maybe a little too cocky in what they have and what they've accomplished. But even within that, it takes a real understanding of who gave it to you, who provided those blessings to you. And that's where you have to really stay connected to the source. I don't say be humble. I don't feel like humble is a word that people of faith should use. I believe that you should be connected to the source at all times, the source of your blessing and knowing who gave it, who has the right to take it away, and things of that nature. So as long as you stay connected to the source, then I feel like your behavior and the way you treat people will always be appropriate. I, but I feel like if you get into self and you think that you got it because of your degree and or your good looks or how well you dress, I think that's when there's a disconnect between you and the source of who's really providing you with that blessed lifestyle. So I said all that to say, operating systems are the foundation of how you view yourself. And they can kind of appear. It's like if you eat bad food, it can show up in your skin. Like you may have breakouts or real bad acne because you eat a lot of fried foods and things that are not good for you. Sometimes the way your operating system is working, it can also show up on the outside of you. For example, if you're operating from a fear-based perspective, you're not going to apply yourself the way you need to because you think that it's not going to work out for you anyway. So you don't start. A couple of days ago, I decided I was going to jump into YouTube and give it a shot. I see everybody doing it, having somewhat success to it. And I wanted to share my story. And when I decided to do that, I shared a goal and a challenge with my circle of friends and family to create a 20-minute video about your life and upload it. And then the next day, do the same thing again and see what happens. And for the people that I challenge, I challenge you to look at yourself and see if when I asked you to do that, did you think of it in a positive way, a way of faith that if Patrick does it, then I can do it too? Or did you operate from a place of fear and say to yourself, well, man, I'm really not comfortable, getting in front of the family or getting in front of an audience. Or you use things like, well, I don't have the right background, or I don't have the right equipment, I don't have good lighting and all of that stuff. And I don't either. I mean, if you look, I got a blank wall behind me, and eventually, my layout will be, improve and get better over time, but you have to start somewhere. You have to start with identifying how you're operating. That tells you a lot about yourself, because when you operate from a point of fear, you operate from a place of lack. You're not going to ever have enough money because you're scared that you won't have enough money. That fear is there, and you end up separating yourself from your blessing because the fear is the thing that's going to stop you from taking the very first step. And if you take the first step, you can take the second step. But if you don't take the first step, you're going to always be at the starting line and never get off of it. So if I can get on here and make this corny video with bad audio, bad lighting, then I don't see why you won't just put yourself out there. Be at a point to where people can criticize you and, leave nasty comments and all of that. Because whether they leave bad comments or good comments, you're still getting attention. So just remember that, and that's the first step. Just really analyze your life and see if things are going the way that you want them to go, and question whether you're in alignment with a faith-based operating system, or whether you're operating from a place of fear. So with that, I'll close out and just, with a positive word to the people that are wrestling with fear. Um, I've been on both sides of it personally. I have moments where I feel like I can conquer the world, and the next day I have doubts to whether I can do anything right. It's the yin yang of life. It happens. Um, but when you take a minute and you look at your operating system, you know that you can do anything. That negative thought that comes in your mind is just an emotion. It's not real. It's designed to keep you from taking the first step. And if you let the goals that you want to achieve in life, if you let them continue to be sabotaged because you're too scared to take the first step, you'll realize that time clock is ticking a lot faster than you realize. You'll wake up and you'll be, 45, you'll be 55, you'll be 65. It happens so fast that it's really important that you decide today, like, really take the time to identify where you are in life and make the decision to walk by faith. And with that, I just ask, if you are not a subscriber, take a second, just hit that subscribe button. I won't blow up your email with a new video every 5-10 minutes or nothing like that. But I would like to have you as part of the family. So join, stay locked in with me. Leave a comment, a like, a share, and let's just continue to all get better together. They say iron sharpens iron. So I want you to join me on this YouTube journey, this life journey, and let's continue to walk by faith. Until next time, be blessed.